Hey folks, welcome to Truck King and another news update. This is probably the most anticipated pickup truck launch of the year, so let's waste no time introducing the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Tacoma is brand new from the ground up for the 2024 model year, and it's now based on the TNGA-F platform, which is the same as the Tundra and the Sequoia. So there's new power plants here, new models, new trims, new suspension, tons to talk about, so stay tuned and we'll go through all the details. Let's start by talking about the power plant, and for Tacoma there's actually just one gas engine available, but it's going to be offered in 4 different states of tune, and I'll run through them all right now. That new engine is a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder. Now in the base SR model it makes 228 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. Once you step out of the SR model, that same engine is going to make 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. But this is sort of interesting. You can still get a 6-speed manual, and when you go for the manual transmission, the engine actually makes slightly less horsepower. When paired with the 6-speed, this engine is making 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. And finally, yes, we've been talking about this for a while now, it is happening. Toyota pairs the 2.4 liter Turbo 4 with a 1.87 kilowatt hour battery pack and a 48 horsepower electric motor to make the new iForce Max hybrid Tacoma. Power output on that engine is 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Now the 6-speed manual can only be paired with the gas engine, so you're not going to be able to get a hybrid with the manual transmission, and the automatic transmission here paired with both the hybrid and non-hybrid is an 8-speed. So now I want to dive into all the trims and the new models, and we'll actually start by showing you the 2 body styles that Tacoma will be available in. First of all, the 4-door double cab with either a 5 or 6 foot bed. So Toyota is not going with the trend of eliminating the long bed. You can still get that crew cab long bed. And now they've also brought out a new extra cab model. So this is strictly a 2-door model with a 6-foot bed. And what Toyota has done is they've deleted the back seats and given you a massive amount of storage space back there. So this truly is a work-focused truck if you're going for this 2-door extra cab. And I'll mention quickly here for my Canadian folks, we're not getting the extra cab model sadly, so we will only have the 4-door double cab in Canada.
Hey everybody, it's Howard at Truck King. Listen, about 2 years ago, I was gifted a set of these giddy-up straps, and they've been in my truck ever since, helping my wife, my grandkids, even my mom get in and out. Well, just recently, we came into a supply of these, and we now want to sell them to you. So all you got to do is reach out to us at hey@truckking.ca. Steve will throw that up here. Tell us where you are, what kind of truck you have, how many units you want. We'll get back to you with a price, including postage. Listen, we believe in this product and we believe you're gonna like it too.
Now let's dig into some more details on what's underneath this truck. So the base Tacoma models, the SR, SR5 Extra Cab, and the new TRD Pre-Runner, well, they're going to have classic leaf springs, but every other Tacoma model is now using coils in the rear end. So the majority of Tacomas have gotten rid of their leafs. Now when it comes to towing, Toyota only released numbers for the SR5 and that TRD Pre-Runner. They say it can tow up to 6,500 pounds, which is a fairly competitive number. Max payload has been boosted to 1,709 pounds also on this truck. And then when it comes to towing technology, we have an integrated trailer brake controller, a trailer backup guide, a digital display mirror, and Toyota's trailer guidance system with straight path assist. So quite a bit of thought has been put into towing here, it seems. Another big change for Tacoma, 4-wheel disc brakes on all models, so no more drums in the rear. That was something we heard about a lot, so Toyota was listening and they moved to discs. Looking at the working end of the Tacoma, Toyota says the bed has 7% more volume, so it's slightly bigger. The tailgate now has an auto up and down function that's optional or standard on some of the higher trim models. And there's also a new quick release built into the taillight, just like they introduced on the larger Tundra. Maybe what's more exciting though, there is a plug in the bed. On the gasoline models, it's going to put out 400 watts, but on that iForce Max Hybrid, Toyota has installed an AC inverter, which is going to put out 2,400 watts of power. So not quite as much as Ford is doing, but still really cool to see Toyota utilizing its hybrid to deliver customers power when they need it. Now let's get to the exciting stuff. Let's talk about the off-road models, and then we'll talk about some of the more basic Tacomas. We're going to start with the new one, the Trailhunter. Trailhunter is all about overlanding. It's about going out into the wilderness, bringing all your camping gear with you, and making sure you get back out safely. So this truck is the result of a partnership with ARB, a very well-known brand in the off-road space. Underneath, you're going to find Old Man Emu 2.5-inch forged monotube shocks with rear piggybacks. You'll see steel bumpers on this truck with very exposed recovery points. And then a really exciting new feature for Tacoma, a front stabilizer bar disconnect to maximize your articulation. And yes, you'll be able to get that on TRD Pro as well. Now the bed utility bar is also functional. You can strap things to it, and it has removable MOLLE panels. So again, you can haul all your stuff and actually use that bed bar to bring it along with you. Now Trailhunter will only be available as a double cab, but you can get the 5 or the 6-foot bed. And then you can also get a full ARB bed rack if you want to put a rooftop tent on this truck. For tires, you're getting 33-inch Goodyear Territories. There's also a high mount air intake, rock rails, and steel skid plates to keep you safe. Now again, adopted from its larger brother, the Tundra, a 20-inch LED light bar has been integrated right into the grille on this truck, which is going to be handy when you're out at night. Speaking of night, there are lights in the bed, but there's also new lights on the bed side, which Toyota says can light up a campsite if you pull in and you're setting up at night. If you want to add accessories, there's 3 auxiliary switches, and this Trailhunter will only be available with the iForce Max Hybrid, which means you're going to get that 2,400 watts of power in the bed. Now finally, Toyota says there's already about 100 accessories available for this truck, and that actually means that you'll be able to build them in to the base cost of the truck, which means that you can build it into your financing. It just makes paying for this stuff a little bit easier, a little simpler, and they're going to be able to get you things like recovery gear, all kinds of rack attachments, equipment carriers, and more. So Toyota is really trying to step in here and take the place of the aftermarket and keep all that business to itself. Well, that's the Trailhunter. Let us know what you think of that thing in the comments below. And now let's move on to the other off-roader in the stable, the TRD Pro. Underneath, the TRD Pro uses Fox internal bypass 2.5-inch Quick Switch 3 shocks. And that name, Quick Switch 3, it's named that because there are 3 different damping settings on each shock, and you can control them using a clicker right on the shock body. So you can jump out, set your damping wherever you want between the 3 settings, and jump back in. Now in the rear, there's internal floating piston bump stops to make sure if you do bottom out, it's not going to be too hard to hit. And TRD Pro gets a 2-inch lift in the front, 1.5-inch in the rear, and it's actually 3 inches wider than the standard SR5 model. I mentioned that front stabilizer bar disconnect. That also comes here on TRD Pro. For tires, you're getting the same 33-inch Goodyear Territories. A TRD Performance intake and catback exhaust is now standard on TRD Pro, as is that LED light bar and a rear locking differential. And that rear locker is also on the Trailhunter. I don't think I mentioned it. But sadly, no front locker here. We kind of thought maybe Toyota would do it, but no, just a rear locker. Honestly though, the most exciting feature in the TRD Pro is probably this, the new Isodynamic Performance seat. Toyota says it uses an air over oil shock system to basically keep your body in line and not moving as much with the truck. So imagine that you're now going to be isolated a little bit from the truck's movements thanks to the shocks inside your seat. And for extreme off-roading, especially high-speed off-roading, I think I can already see how that would be beneficial. You're not, knocking around the cab while you're trying to really focus. So that's an exciting new feature, and right on the back of the seat there's knobs so you can control the damping force based on your own weight and your preference, and then you can also go back there and just straight up turn it off if you don't want them working. All right, let's go ahead and move inside the Tacoma now, and the truck you see here is the TRD Pro, but I will list sort of all the features. So on the basic trucks, there's an 8-inch touchscreen in the center stack, but here we get a 14-inch touchscreen in the upgraded models like TRD Pro. Tacoma has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless charging for your cell phone, and in these higher grade models, a 12.3-inch gauge cluster, which is standard. Push-button start has also been introduced as standard equipment across the entire Tacoma range. Now, if you pay for the subscription, although you will get a free trial when you buy this truck, customers can then use their phone as a key, and they can also use their phone to do things like access the tailgate and remote start the truck. Toyota also says the smart key card is available, essentially a credit card sized key that slots into your wallet, and that will also act as a key for you to start and drive your truck. Now in the backseat, Toyota says there is 3 times more storage than the current truck under the rear seat in the gas model, so obviously they focused on that. There are more MOLLE panels on the center console and doors for even more storage, and then there's a hidden side pocket on the driver's side, which apparently has a QR code in it, and if you scan it, it'll show you how to 3D print a bunch of different camping things like a lantern or a multi-tool. That's kind of neat. Oh yeah, and then you can get upgraded JBL audio, which comes with another neat feature. It's right here. That's a little portable Bluetooth speaker. So when you're driving in your truck, that thing mounts to the dash, it stays charged, and it just works in conjunction with the stereo. But then if you hop out, you can take it with you, and you can pump your tunes wherever you go. So that's it for the TRD Pro and the Trailhunter. Again, the 2 most exciting models in the lineup. But let's go back and take a deeper look at that extra cab, because it is pretty cool that Toyota is offering just a 2-door version of the truck. So like I said, there's no rear doors and no rear seats here. And even the passenger seat can fold flat to be a workspace. So you can see how Toyota prioritized this truck as being a work truck. Now that pre-runner model, and that's not a new model, they're actually bringing it back from their past. The pre-runner, which is available only in the US and only as an extra cab, it's going to be 2-wheel drive only. It gets a lifted front suspension, BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, and that rear locker. So this really sounds like it's going to be your affordable off-roader if you go for the pre-runner, although you do have to live with 2-wheel drive only. Depends where you are though. A lot of places, that's okay. Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's also a new Tacoma Limited model. This thing is all about luxury, and it packs features like a head-up display, power steps, a power moonroof, and that adaptive variable suspension system that was introduced on Tundra. This is the only Tacoma to get it, but this is active suspension that switches its damping on the fly to keep you super comfortable behind the wheel. The Limited also features a full-time 4-wheel drive setup, which is pretty interesting as well. And you can just see the interior. They spent time here making sure that they're gonna compete with the other mid-size luxury trucks out. The last thing I'll talk about is the new standard Safety Sense 3.0 system. And yes, I said standard, so all Tacomas will get pre-collision with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, radar cruise control, lane tracing, automatic high beams, and the new system is proactive driving assist. And I'm gonna read right from the press release so you can see what Toyota says about this. When the system operating conditions are met, using the vehicle's camera and radar, this system is designed to provide gentle braking into curves or gentle braking and or steering to help support driving tasks such as distance control between a preceding vehicle, pedestrian, or bicyclist. So basically, yeah, it's going to pay attention to how you're driving, and I guess if it feels like you're coming into a corner too hot, it's actually going to brake a little bit for you. That'll be an interesting system to see how it works out there in the real world. Well, folks, I think we're coming to the end of this one, and what a great day it is. We finally have seen the Tacoma. The teasers have just been going on for too long, so it feels good to finally have the truck here. And if you want my opinion, I think Toyota did a great job. I did not expect that isodynamic seat. That's really cool. The truck looks good to my eyeballs, except for that plastic air dam. You can let me know what you think of that thing in the comments below. But Trailhunter looks awesome. Everything about this truck looks like Toyota did a great job. And as soon as we can drive it, we will. Now, Toyota says it's expected on sale in late 2023, but that will be with the turbo gas engine only. The hybrid is expected to come on sale in spring of 2024. So as I just said, that's it for this one. Please go in the comments, let me know what you think of Tacoma, and keep an eye on the channel because this is the initial news video based on the information Toyota gave us. But my dad and I are at an event right now as you're probably watching this, and we are filming the Tacoma live, so we'll have another video where I actually get in the truck, I poke and prod, and we can check it out for ourselves. But until then, please go below, leave us a comment, let us know what you think of the new Tacoma. As always, while you're down there, click like, click subscribe, click join to become a member, and then come back here to Truck King to see us with the new 2024 Tacoma. Keep your eyes open for that video. Thanks.